101 with Stacey Thomas. Unrestricted and unlimited. We can talk about anything you want. Unrestricted and unlimited. Let's talk about something. Your 101 with Stacey Thomas. Unrestricted and unlimited. We can talk about anything you want. Yeah.
Hey, you caught me whispering. This is I am Stacey Thomas. Thank you for joining me tonight. We're on YouTube. So you guys do me a favor. If you're watching, please share it on your Facebook pages because I have no way of doing that right now. I am once again blessed. I know you say Stacey's always saying she's blessed. I am once again blessed with this platform. I always say unrestricted, unlimited simply means don't put myself or my guests in a box. You can't see us doing one thing and assume that's what we're going to do forever. Because it's always a thing of we have yet to see that all that God has for us. And I've got an amazing guest tonight by way of someone else that told me about him. And I got to say this, okay? He may get mad at me for saying it, but listen, I get information on this man, right? And I get a picture of the man. I get a video of the man. The man's very fit. They say, oh, he has an organization called fit2give.org, right? And I'm like, wow, this young man is really doing some things. He's young, but I'll let him tell you how it is if he wants you to. But I'm telling you, full of energy. I say he's my Gemini brother. Right? So it's Ricky Martin. And before we get started, I want to tell you why Ricky's on here. Ricky's not only on here to tell his story, but Ricky's got a big thing coming to Richmond, Virginia.
RVA, are you ready? The Community Wellness Expo and Fashion Show, demos, panels, and classes. The Expo Fashion Show, brands are wanted. Come on and party with us. Yes, the Community Wellness fit2give.org, the Expo Fashion Show and After Party. Vendors, brands, sponsors, and volunteers, fit2give.org.
So let's bring my guest up on the show so he can talk more to us about what he got going on. Ricky!
Hey, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored.
I know that's right.
Stuff. Yes.
And Ricky, first, I'm going to tell you in front of everybody, I've told you earlier, thank you for coming on my platform.
Oh, thank you for having me on. Yes.
You know what? Because it seems like everybody that comes on this platform is like either motivating, inspiring, educating, entertaining, but it's a blessing to others. And what you're doing in your community is amazing. What you are preparing to do to give back to the community is amazing. Tell us, Ricky, first of all, about what's the name of your nonprofit?
The name of the nonprofit is Fit2Give. And you can find the nonprofit's website at fit2give.org. Let's use the number 2, Fit2Give.
Fit2Give.
Mm-hmm. Fit2Give.org.
Where did that title come from?
See, this is a good question. I don't think we went over this. My basic company
Okay.
is called Fit to Go.
Okay.
I've operated Fit to Go for I don't know how many years, since 2008. I've done a lot of things, wellness initiatives through that particular for-profit company. I still work through that company. But it was not until I did this program called the Fitness Warriors with sports backers that I started getting these ideas about free training for individuals. That Fitness Warrior program was free training for groups of people, training regular people to lead free groups in underserved communities. Pretty nice initiative that still is going on now. So out of that idea comes free individualized training for people who need it, going to what we would call, in our community, the sick and shut in, the infirm. My tagline is personal training for those who need it but can't afford it. Black, white, old, young, homeless, housed, can't afford it. Let's talk about it and get you moving around. Let's see what you need. Let's send a trainer to you.
Yeah. Physical fitness, training, eating well, living well is something that a lot of people want. It's something that a lot of people pay big money for, especially trainers. Ricky Martin, if this is what's going on in the world, it's a money maker. Why are you doing it for free?
Thank you. You're a good interviewer. So I was given a lot, right? I came to Richmond as a homeless guy back in 94-ish, somewhere around there, 1994, a good while back. And it wasn't until I got here that I learned what I needed to learn to get off the streets, or as we would say in our community, to get off them streets, right? Because I've been homeless for a long period of time. I was the type of homeless person that if you saw him, you would look and act like you didn't really see them. You would probably walk by. There have been times in my homeless journey when I wasn't too nice to sit next to on the train, because it really stunk pretty bad.
Ricky.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Everyone has a story, and I'm like, wow. How can I ask you, Ricky?
Go ahead.
How did you end up homeless?
Okay, here we go. We're going. This is going to be very authentic tonight. Drugs, straight up and down. I am a survivor of the New York crack era, right? You mentioned earlier on in the beginning, age like young guy full of, whatever, energy. I'm 68 years old. I've been around for a little bit. And I'm very, very thankful that I'm still here, because a lot of my friends are not here. A lot of people I know are not here right now. So it's by the grace, right, that I've survived all those things that go along with being a crackhead, being a dope fiend, being a lowlife. You know how we were considered back when I was younger, being a wino. You so-and-so low down wino, whatever, was a pretty bad insult. Coming up, oh, you're a dope fiend like heroin. Later on, oh, if someone called someone else, or your dad or your mom was a crackhead, that was like fighting words. It's like, ugh. So this is where my need and my desire to give back comes from, because I came from a very, very low place, and I understand what it is to change. I know that it's possible. I'm a living witness. It's like, how can you not? And it just so happens that I became strung out and addicted while serving in the ministry in New York. So the story goes through levels underneath.
Ricky, wait a minute. You haven't watched the Stacey Thomas talk show, okay?
No, I have not.
I am told that, and because this is interesting, and I try not to use that word because I have a friend that watches the show, and she says when I say interesting, she see the wheels in my head turning, in my mind turning. Ricky, you said you were in ministry.
Oh yes. Oh
That's
yes.
just, and we won't spend long on
Go
that,
ahead.
but I'm
Mhm.
a firm believer, even people in the church or on the pulpit, we're still human beings at the end of the day.
In the pulpit.
Ricky,
Yes, in the pulpit with titles. Yeah,
without
apostle so and so, prophet so and so, who's going around from church to church to church, preaching and bringing revivals because that's how it works. And while
did
you were in town, you looking for this and in between services, and yeah,
Ricky,
yeah. Go ahead.
when you went into ministry,
Hmm.
did you feel called by God, or did you do it for the money?
Here goes the story now. I consider myself right a holiness charismatic Methabapticostal.
You're
Kind of a
interested.
long thing to put together, right? But if
Okay.
you kind of look out how it's breaking up, the holiness charismatic churches, your influence, that's a part of my story coming up as a young guy, like 8 or 9, in South Carolina. Moving to New York, Methodist church, Baptist churches was the influence. After falling and being involved in all kinds of stuff, bank robberies, criminal activity, and going to prison, I wound up, after violating my parole, being back on Rikers Island again. And just when I was getting ready to do some really, really bad things, I got saved on the island. And anybody familiar with New York, like Rikers Island is like, you better be able to do some stuff, right? And handle yourself. But I had been back and forth so many times. It's like I had friends there. So really quick, a revival had come to the island. And in the auditorium, this preacher, Bishop Williams, I'm going to call his name because he was good, brought the revival, and something about the movement of the Spirit. I forgot all about church stuff because I'm like hard, I'm in jail. Something about the praise and worship at that particular time got me dancing in the Spirit. I didn't even realize I could even do that type of thing. I'm bucking right there at like maybe the second row back from the stage, and I'm like bawling, crying amongst a whole lot of guys. We like, but we feeling this. After the service, I start going to the Bible study that this older lady from the church, Evangelist Josephine Roberts, would come in. We would have a Bible study. It was a way to get out of the cell too, to get off the cell block. But in there, we learned about praise and worship and receiving the gift of the Holy Spirit. So I've always felt that I really, really got something because it happened in jail, that I began speaking in tongues and the whole thing. And from there, it was like ministry. It was like church for 5 years, working in the ministry, opening a church, and bringing you Pastor Josephine Roberts live from the Salvation is Free Church of Faith and Works, located in Hempstead, Long Island. And yeah.
So it wasn't a game.
No. We accomplished a lot of things. We opened up a house for the homeless. We were bringing the homeless people from New York out to the island and putting them inside our church, which was an old 7-Eleven that was donated to us by a famous basketball player. There's a lot of stories here. I tell you, I had a lot of stories. And we would bring out all of these dingy men from the New York crack era now, right, who were living in armories, 300-400 beds, a sea of beds. We would go bring services there, pick them up on a Sunday, bring them out to the island, feed them, let them stay for the whole day, and then bring them back. This went on for 5 years. Wonderful ministry. Then that's why I cut my teeth on community stuff, on wanting to give back, because I've seen it, I've done it. It's like,
Ricky,
do stuff. Go
Ricky,
ahead. Thank you.
I have to ask,
Go ahead.
what tripped you up?
More of the story. So going further back, before being a criminal, right? I was really loving music. I was doing really good things. Decided I'm going to hang out with these criminal types, and I did some crimes. A bank robbery, that was like the major one. I went to jail for a long period of time. But while there, I stayed in touch with all my music buddies, everybody that was like involved with stuff that was creative like that. When I got out, we wound up producing a really hot house music tune. This is like the height of Studio 54. And we got signed to Emergency Records. This is the same label that had Shannon with that #1 hit, Let the Music Play, and African Bambaataa. And we made 14 on the Billboard dance chart. So I've got money. I'm traveling around.
This is after you went into ministry?
No, this is before ministry.
Okay.
This is before that. So each thing you do, I'm taking you back.
Okay.
So it's a little chronology to this. Because I'm old, there's been some things that's happened in my life. And this is a time of hard work, really, to get this going, right? Almost living as a homeless person during this time, and then getting introduced to drugs at this time as well, because the music industry and all of that is like, that's part and parcel of the whole thing. But very quickly, it went from limousines to the venues like Roseland and the Red Parrot and Copacabana to, I'm going to be in the limousine, but I'm not going back with y'all because I'm getting on the train. I'm going to Harlem, and I'm going to spend a lot of money on, doing my thing. Yeah. And that kept on going until eventually we're off the label and we're straight up homeless, living in a place called the Celebrity Club right next to the door to Dapper Dan's. You might be familiar with that, on 125th Street in Harlem. 2 blocks down from the Apollo Theater. That whole neighborhood from 125th Street, 5th and Madison on back to like 128th was totally crack city. There'll be lines of people from one door all the way down to the corner. And on those lines would be homeless people, mothers with kids, pregnant women, and women or guys with kids in strollers waiting in line to get vials.
You went to prison addicted to drugs?
So when I finally got reintroduced to the prison life, when I violated my parole, I was on crack cocaine. It was a good thing that I went, though, because this is when I got clean. This is when I got it out of my system. And I was like, but I went in as a very, very, at this time now, I don't have anything. And had I not known anybody there, I would have had just the clothes on my back. But because I known people, guys would give me clothes. Rick, you need anything? And it would take a while for me to build myself back up again. The church helped.
Ricky.
That's why giving back is so important to me. I feel like I'm really fit to give because I'm good now.
I like it.
I'm doing well. I got a nice house here out in Chesterfield. I've done some good things. For me, it's like dealing with karma, right? Karma is like what goes around comes around. I learned that I can repair or make amends for things that I've done in my past, and it helps my psyche. It helps my self-esteem, my self-awareness, right? By doing that. In recovery circles, they call that step work, making amends. Like you're instructed, you must do that. You must look at the wreckage of your past, who you've hurt, what you've done. Because if you don't, that guilt stays with you. It's still there in some type of way, and it'll come up and you need to address it. Usually you need somebody like a sponsor or a friend or a therapist, depends on what you're dealing with, to help you. And as you get better, you start growing. You start feeling like, okay, I don't have to, you see the difference in the posture there? It's just a few inches of a change, right? And you're better.
When you look at what you're doing now, Ricky, and you tell that story, you remember how life was. Are you surprised, or did you know one day I'm coming out of this and I'm going to do great things?
I knew one day I was going to come out of drug addiction.
Okay.
Poverty and not having a roof over my head and, really living a grimy life, because I've known what, living right was, coming up as a kid, right? I had a mom and a dad, I didn't come out the womb like one day I'm going to be whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So I knew that was in store for me, but to know or foresee doing like community stuff and giving back to community like this. I didn't foresee that, right? And knowing what I know now, had not I gone the way I went, I would not be doing this. One thing I told like the warrior trainers, right? Classes are like 6 months long, so I get to talk to them for a long period of time. And the very first thing I say to them while they're still applying to be a recruit is, everything that happened up until this point in time had to happen for this to be the most perfect moment in time that there is. All your seemingly good and your seemingly bad work together to create
right.
a person that is right here, right now, listening to this.
That's
with
right.
the mindset that you have, the character that you have, that good and that bad. That job you lost, you was like, oh God, I'm never gonna get the job.
That's
but
right.
then down the line, like, I'm glad I'm working over here now instead of over there. So
Wow.
yeah, but
Wow.
it takes a while to some people to get to understand that about themselves. So that way, when they look on their past, they can look with a positive slant. You're like, okay, yeah, this happened, that happened, but look what God, can I see something out of that? What? Oh,
It's Ricky.
look who I am now because of that. I think everybody's got that story. Some is a little more horrendous than others, but
Right,
you know,
right.
some people, my cat died. That. Okay, my cat died over and tear him up. Someone else listening to that was like, wait a minute, how you gonna be that over a cat? But you don't know the relationship that person had
right.
with, you know, what's happening in my own skin does not reflect what's happening in yours. So
Wow.
yeah.
So Ricky, you've been through a lot.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
it's a great thing to hear, like to be reminded that it's not a mistake, the things we go through. I think it makes us better as people eventually.
Yeah.
You've
Gives
done
us
a lot
character.
of Bill's character. Yeah,
Gives
you've
us
done a lot of things. You've worked at the YMCA.
Oh yeah. One of my places that taught me giving back was the YMCA, particularly the downtown YMCA, down on Franklin Street in Richmond, where a lot of homeless people hung out, not too far from the Daily Planet, where a lot of homeless people hung out. I remember getting a membership there for $5. They had this thing called the Gateway Program. If you showed them your pay stub, they would base your membership on how much you were making.
Okay.
My very first job coming out of being homeless, I got through the Daily Planet, was at a truck place, and I was really just the guy cleaning up. I wasn't making a lot of money. So they gave me a membership for $5. And I used that membership because I got used to working out in jail. And I knew the benefits. Okay, yeah, I need to do this. Plus, it's a place to go shower too. So, and over time, I built up a rapport with the staff, with the management, because I was a regular, and I could kind of tell that guy knows what he's doing. And he asked me, do you ever thought about being a trainer? And I'm like, no, not really. They said, well, you're doing it anyway. People you talk to you and you tell them stuff, because it was a passion of mine. And they suggested that I get a book. I couldn't afford a book. It was like $300 or $400. I was like, okay, yeah. When I get the money, I'll do that. Someone loaned me a book. I studied the book, but I still had to pay for the exam myself. I saved my money, I paid for the exam, and I passed the exam, and they hired me. I became a fitness instructor, a personal trainer at the downtown YMCA, then eventually became the building supervisor, and then the wellness director for, this is the flagship YMCA now. Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
So coming up. It's like amazing how life can change from the mud, how they say, from the bottom, now we're here.
And I was reading your bio.
Mm-hmm.
Something caught, so I'm like, wow, reading it. But then one of Fit to Go's contracts is with the Richmond Behavioral Health Authority. Mm-hmm. Martin, yourself, look like you don't know. Martin has been training the staff and clients in the various treatment facilities of RBHA for more than 2 decades. He brings the concepts of body, mind, spirit connection to his classes, which is a boom to many in recovery circles.
Mm-hmm. Boon, B-O-O-N.
Boon.
Boon.
Boon. I said boom. Boon. Thank you.
Boon. Yeah. So the definition of boon is like a benefit to. someone, right? I love this job I have doing this, and I know it's not something I intended. Like going back to your question before, what got you into this? I intended to go into. Um, I am blessed, fortunate, favored, all of that to have a job where I can use my fitness and my experience in recovery, my experience with drug addiction specifically, and homelessness specifically. When I go in to train the men on one day, the women on another day, then a program called Hope, where it's the men and women who are mentally ill, but also drug addicted.
Something
Mm-hmm.
that okay. So before we get to talking about how you're bringing this all together,
Mm-hmm.
people that know me are going to know I'm going to ask a couple questions. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
you're how old?
68.
Okay, 68, Gemini brother.
Mm-hmm.
You're walking around fit. You're walking around looking like you're in your late 40s, 50s,
I'll take that. Thank you.
And then I see in your bio, ladies, if you're watching, as a husband, a father, and a grandfather, Martin understands family and community as a daily movement of love and nurturing. His self-care practices include enjoying time at home, playing the guitar, and reading. While you got all these things that's good for the health and teaching people how to nurture themselves and stuff, I gotta ask, how your wife feel about you doing all this training?
Oh, she loves it now. But back in the day, there were times. Ooh, like any marriage and any vocation, but particularly fitness and personal trainers.
Yes.
We have the reputation of, he's a womanizer, or, they hired him because of his looks or whatever, or her looks. That's part of it. It's definitely something in there going on with the attraction,
Okay.
right? It's up to the trainer though, right? And this is what I learned by immersing myself in the industry and learning what you're supposed to know as a trainer. It's up to the trainer to set the boundaries and the parameters for what's going to come, because he should know already.
That's right.
There's a thing called the codes of ethics that trainers have to study and learn, and you're going to be tested on to get a national certification. And then over time, you get the experience in having to deal with that. And you come to learn, okay, do I want to get paid as a professional, or do I want to be womanizing or female, whatever, for the rest of my life and don't have no business?
And I would think that you've been
or
through
wife.
Right. I would think that you've been through some hard enough times that you know what it is like when you make a bad decision. So,
Yeah. My perspective is everything, right?
Right.
Your perspective is different from mine, because it depends on how you were raised. My perspective is like these three things. Does it put me in jail? Does it get me strung out again? Or does it make me homeless again?
That's right.
If it ain't what three of them things, I can probably kind of handle whatever is going to come down the pike. So I can kind of handle adversity a little bit differently than some people.
Okay. That's what's keeping you looking young. You're staying out of trouble, and I guess you're not taking on stressful situations.
Managing stress. That's the big deal. That's the mind, body, spirit connection. That's why movement is so important to everybody. It's not just the movement, it's what the movement.
And your organization.
What I just said, it's not about the movement, it's what the movement. Right.
Stacey needs to move.
Everybody, we all need to move. Yeah. So, if we don't move, we're not going stagnant. What's happening. Yeah.
Are you only stationed? Are you only in Richmond, Virginia? Well, are you assisting? Are you traveling and teaching? What are you doing?
So right now, I am retired, and there's a few things I've taken on, like the wellness event for the nonprofit. I've kept on my contracts with the Richmond Baby Health Authority and a few personal training clients. I don't advertise a lot for personal training because I'm kind of booked up for stuff, which is a good thing, right?
Right.
Back to attraction rather than promotion. However, if I'm called and I can find time for people like this new lady I took on, Doris, I'm gonna call her out. She's 83 years old and she lives in a senior assisted living facility that's pretty nice, and they have a nice gym area. Older client, known her for years. I'm going to go ahead and give her some sessions because she needs to move. And her doctor told her, if you don't do this, you're going to be gone in a little while. So it's those, when I get a tearjerker thing like that, like for Fit to Give, I'm doing something. So I can't really say I'm not doing anything. Yeah.
Wow.
Heartstrings. The heartstrings get pulled. Somebody said you twist your arm. My heart gets tugged, and I'm going like, oh.
Well, you're a Gemini. We love, and when we love hard, and we treat people good. So that's one of the great things about being a Gemini. I want to get into. Oh goodness, I have a picture. I saw quite a few pictures, and something I like about your organization is that it's very diverse. There's nothing wrong with creating an organization that has a specific target audience. So I'm not knocking that. But what you're doing, you're not just blessing one group of people, but it's just people in general.
Yeah.
And I had a picture between the videos that I have. I'm going to see. Let's see. This right here. It shows the diversity. It shows like Ricky's doing big things, and it doesn't matter who you are, you can come and join.
Yeah. Can I say something about that picture right quick?
Yes, you can.
So the two ladies will be on my
I'm sorry, say that again.
It will be on my right, looking at my screen. The two white ladies on the end, they actually work for sports backers who are assigned to work with the Fitness Warrior program. And because of them, we were able to do some really good things as far as growing organically over time.
Really?
Program. Oh, yes, because the very first class, it was rough. Nobody knew about us. Nobody was like, oh, come and do a class at our church or in our library. It was knocking on doors, picking up the phone, and going to places I've been to before, being a trainer in the area, and say, hey, I have these people that I'm training. They want to teach a class for free.
Right.
We didn't even have mentors then. I was asking volunteers, people that I knew from gyms, or people who were working with me as interns from VCU to mentor the very first class of trainers in what they were getting ready to go through. Now we move from mentors to captains, and they get paid. Yeah. Initially, the Fitness Warrior program was for people coming out of jail, as well as any volunteers, to be trained. So they would be trained and then get a job at the YMCA, because the YMCA was really supportive of us on this. I did a lot of the trainings for free. We had to have a place to train. So I knew, okay, I can't afford to pay for any spot to let me in with these volunteers. But I knew my connections with the YMCA, I can get the Gottwall Center for free because it was open to the public, particularly if you were a nonprofit. I signed up. Each and every one of my training days that I needed to have done in advance were done at the Gottwall Center. And I trained people for free right there, and they got it. That very first class, they went on to train in different areas, different, I almost said hotels, different community centers, churches, libraries, wherever I could get them into. And then they started helping finding places. And then a lot of their participants turned around and wanted to be trained for the very next class. So that was the first class.
Wow.
So the very first class, I'm going to call y'all Warriors First Class. When I say Warrior First Class, you say hoorah. I want them to say it really, really forceful. I got a video of that, going on. And I would record videos of each class, giving them their mantras. Like, this is your saying for your team.
So right now that you've grown, and bigger and better things have been happening as you've been growing.
Because I'm retired from them now, technically. I still come around for things, but I'm not training or doing teach backs anymore.
Do you still?
Captains know how to do that stuff.
Do you still? Okay, so I heard you say you were helping people that came out of prison at one time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Now that things have gotten better for you, you've done more. Are you still helping people that come out of prison?
Not so much coming out of prison unless I run into someone, and
Okay.
usually that's going to be someone that I run into at North Campus, RBHA.
Okay.
Particularly, well, the men and the women, and in the Hope program, a lot of the people are coming in through DOC, Department of Corrections.
Okay.
Right? They spend a little time, and now part of them coming back into society is they have to go through treatment for a little bit.
Okay.
They may or may not even be using anymore. Sometimes they're still dealing with withdrawal coming out of jail too. So that element is still there. Occasionally now, that I like that you asked me that, I'll go over to the Calhoun Center where Coach Rolo is working with kids in the evening, and they need a lot of help. So I'll bring my boxing gloves down and I'll work with them a little bit here and there. I'll pay for their tickets to come to like Kwanzaa festivals, and
Okay.
it's a lot of kids, but they're not getting much funding at all. But this is the place where the people in Gilpin Court, the kids in Gilpin Court, can hang out in the evening and not worry about a stray bullet.
Okay.
It's
You're doing some good things. And
in the community, just like in the hood, that's where things are happening where it's needed. There's other organizations doing bigger things.
Yeah.
But how do they say it in church? It's like, who's here is the ones who will be there. But just one. Go, you don't want to lose the one.
Right.
That,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
And now you've got coming up in August of 2024, you've got a big community event coming up.
Yeah.
When I see Fit to Give, I'm thinking, okay, so he's having an event, they're going to be exercising. But you guys, tell us about it, Ricky.
So I'm looking at the flyer right here. I see myself with the mic in my hand. That was like from one of the very first Fitness Warrior graduations. The next picture is a picture of CJ Richardson, who is a local comedian. He's going to be posting some videos of himself. Go visit his page. He's kind of funny. I went to see him at
I like CJ. CJ's cool.
Yes. So he's going to be our comedian MC for the whole day, even into the evening, where we're going to be having our fashion show and after party. Then you see our cook. You see Ashley Red, who's the trap yoga queen. And this next guy, Dr. Lamar Price, is from the Atlanta Housewives. He's a iridologist, wellness professional. I think I posted a video of him and Tiffany Haddish just recently. He's going to be coming up with some more stuff to kind of draw people in. But he can look in your eye. This is what an iridologist does. Look into your eyes and tell you what's going on with various parts of your body.
Within you.
Yeah.
And all of this, is this a one-day event?
One-day event. The daytime is these presenters and demos. We're breaking down around 3:34, somewhere in there, depending on how active things go. And we're setting up for our fashion show in the evening. Fashion show, and then into after party. Let the hair down, we dance.
I saw everything. And then I found out there was an after party. And I said,
after party, right.
I said, y'all having an after party too?
After party too, yes.
It sounds like it's going to be an amazing event. And if someone wants to buy a ticket, is the information on the flyer?
So the information is on the website, Fit to Give. If you go there, you'll see the button for the expo. It'll say the Wellness Expo.
Okay.
And as soon as you hit it, there'll be a drop down of multiple choices of things that you might want to be involved with, like being a vendor or being a sponsor or just getting a ticket to attend. The ticket is only $10.
Okay.
Come out and just see. You know how signify.
And what is the main purpose of this event, this community event?
As a fundraiser.
Okay.
That's the number one principle. We need money so we can go ahead and pay these trainers. Number two, though, is to give out information about health and wellness, fitness and nutrition, the gamut of the mind, body, and spirit concept.
Right.
Because we want to have our vendors catering to all the needs. Right. We've got people that do Reiki coming. We've got people that do yoga coming. We've got people that do other types of modalities like massage, reflexology. as well as make you sweat and dance.
Okay.
And you're gonna like the exercises that you're doing. This is the trap yoga type of stuff. Like you get to shake
Oh,
your booty
wow.
and you still are working out and you burn some calories and now you're down 2 pounds.
And what day is that, Ricky?
So this is August the 24th, coming up really, really soon. And I
Okay.
want the community support for real. If you know me and you're watching this, go ahead and buy some extra tickets for your community, for your friends. If you have a brand, if you have something to sell, or you're just starting a brand, go to the website, look at the packages to get a table. It's only $150 to get a table.
Okay.
Right? And you stand to make more money than the cost of your table.
Okay.
If you're willing to do some type of presentation, we can barter. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead. Okay. Tell me about the bartering.
Yeah. If you're willing to do some type of presentation that we can use before all the presentation spots fill up, then we can talk about you getting a vending spot and being part of the fashion show on the runway.
Okay.
Right. For very much nothing, because bartering is like, quid pro quo.
Uh-huh.
Quid pro.
But we can barter, but we need the money.
Yeah. Right. We can barter. We did see Sharon and my event planner people would get on me right now. Like, Rick, you cannot give away the farm. You're giving away too much. Come on now. So y'all better hurry up, because I said that if you don't come in and get a hold of that deal, it's going to be
nothing's wrong with bartering, especially for people, you're blessing somebody when you offer to do something like that. So I didn't mean like don't do it,
Right.
That can be a great thing,
Yeah.
And
so designers, I really want some more designers involved.
You want some more designers?
I want someone to and it doesn't matter whether it's athletic wear, evening wear, urban.
So no one told
attire?
you.
I don't know.
So no one told you, hey, Ricky, you need to hit Stacey Thomas up.
Well,
no, I'm not the designer, but you just never know who I know. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Okay. Well, Sharon told me to contact you. But thank you, Sharon Oliver.
Ricky, it's been awesome.
Yes,
it has been awesome. I thank you for your honest answers. I thank you for, you didn't seem to try to avoid my questions. I do believe that there's somebody, including myself, that got a lot out of this interview. Myself, for personal reasons, and I don't have a problem saying that, you made me think of some things that I had not thought of. So I would like to say thank you. I know this was to promote your event, but how can we show all that is good without saying that just maybe I was blessed in a way to get to this point?
Got me rocking.
You know what I mean? So I'm wishing you the very best. Once I get this posted, any information that you need to post under the video, please do.
Yes, I will.
Is there anything, Ricky, that you need to say about your organization or what you're doing that we did not cover?
Other than support a brother.
Okay.
It's my knowing.
It's your knowing.
It's my knowing that my past was for a reason, like everyone else's. It made me what I am. My past with the Fitness Warrior program, it's close to my heart because it's my baby, right? And retiring from it, it took some doing. I really didn't want to do it, but
Ricky,
at my age, I'm still healthy. But
I hope your wife don't get mad because I'm still on your age. You keep saying you're gonna retire. You don't look like you're gonna retire.
I'm technically retired. I get money from the government. Regular, I like those checks. So,
okay.
So I can dial back some things. Yeah, but and I've been able to take some trips behind that. But I just want to put this, the Fitness Warriors is dear to my heart. But it's that program goes on, and a lot of people don't know the history. We talk about history is important.
Right.
This whole thing has been that.
Right.
For me, getting more information out about the Fitness Warrior program in particular, Fit to Give, the story of how you can change your life around is important to my little Black kids on the street. You know, I'm for everybody, but I know some little Black boys that need to have some self-esteem, stirred up inside them, stir up the gift inside you. Sometimes it takes somebody else stirring up the gift who can see it inside you for you. That's what a personal trainer does a lot, right? So there's some little boys in Gilpin Court and Hillside and Essex Village that when I get to talk to them, they're like, "Ooh, what do you do?" And then when I can say, "I started that program over there. It's called the Fitness Warrior Program." You might not know it from the outside, but I did that for real, man. And so I can see the lights go on. You could do that.
Right.
So I want that legacy to kind of like continue.
So if someone wants to reach you, perhaps about the organization, the nonprofit, the community event that's coming up, or perhaps someone just may need you to come out and speak and tell your story to motivate somebody else, how would they contact you?
Take my email address that includes part of my history. It is Ricky M, as like in the Martin, but it's Ricky, just the M, then 23227. If you're from Richmond, 23227. Yeah, if you're from Richmond, you know where that zip code goes to.
Okay.
That's Chamberlain Avenue.
And it's at Gmail, Yahoo? At
gmail.com.
Gmail.com.
The first place I was able to find roof over my head.
Okay. And I think we have that. I think, I've put it in the comments for others to see. Ricky, I want to say thank you again. And I do hope, you may be busy, but I do hope that I get to meet you in person when I come to the community event. Okay?
Yes, you will. You definitely will. Probably before then.
Thank you and have a great night, Ricky.
Thank you for everyone that watched. Yes, I appreciate you.
Thank you. Okay, great people. So I will be posting the video again. And once again, I am Stacey Thomas. Thank you very much for joining the show. Thank you for watching the show. And please do remember, check out Ricky's website. Support. That's what it's all about. Have a great one.
RVA, are you ready? The Community Wellness Expo and Fashion Show. Demos, panels, and classes. The Expo Fashion Show, brands are wanted. Come on and party with us. Yes, the Community Wellness, fit2give.org. The Expo Fashion Show at